Conference Chair McClain from Michigan for your 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Thank you all for being here. Really important as a former business owner, understand the importance. Mr. Gollenbeck, Mr. Banducci, and Mr. Bonham, my legislation, EBSA Investigation Transparency Act, requires the EBSA to report annually to Congress on investigations in enforcement status, right? The report, which will not include the names of any private parties, will include the office that opened the investigation and how long it has been open. I'm curious as how you think how this bill would help your organization's members determine whether they are being treated fairly or not, right? Because we have all these different regionals, and the sharing of information isn't actually there, and we all know some of these cases are opened way longer than 36 months. So I'd like to know whether how you think this legislation would help in terms of the employers. Mr. You can all answer if you like.
Yeah, I think that level of transparency can be immensely helpful. There was, a number of questions today about the timeliness of investigations. One issue, and I don't represent a trade organization, I'm just a private attorney, but often in investigations that we're involved in, there's no closing letter. So the department makes a decision. We're going to close the file, and my client never hears about it. So, again, it's one level of transparency to make sure that everyone understands that there's an investigation and it's closed with no results. That would certainly be helpful.
Why would anyone oppose that?
I personally do not know.
Okay. Thank you.
So thanks for introducing the legislation as well. We support it for a number of reasons. From a transparency standpoint, obviously our member companies would benefit by being able to see, for instance, which regional offices are pursuing what kinds of cases. It helps us on the front end, our members on the front end, sort of identify those areas where maybe we really need to be looking. From, not to get out of my lane, but from an appropriations perspective, I would think it would be absolutely vital for you to have all that information as well. In particular, to sort of address concerns about, whether budget cuts, how, if there were additional funds, where those monies would actually be spent. I think that's, it's not obvious to me that they would all go to benefits advisors.
Right. It might help us too regionally on which regions are doing best practices, and maybe we could learn from those regions, right? I mean, if we were transparent, we could say, oh my goodness, this region's doing really good. Maybe we could learn, instead of trying to get stuff done, we could actually get stuff done. But I'll let you respond.
Thank you. If I might, I would say we've heard a lot about how your bill would supposedly disproportionately tax the resources of EBSA. But I would have to say that issuing an annual report that inventories the open cases doesn't seem overly burdensome to me. You probably have on your own staff more open constituent casework that you have your staff track for you than EBSA does in the entire agency on an annual basis. So just the issuance of that type of a report from a management perspective, I would suspect our members would benefit, because it would cause a lot of those cases to be closed when they otherwise would just linger on for years.
I'm also curious, would it safe to say that the standards in which you hold your members to in terms of compliance, right? I had a business. We actually had more people in our compliance department filling out forms and filing, to be in compliance than we did actually have in customer service. But if we hold your members to certain standards, don't you think it would be safe to say to hold the government agencies and all these agencies to the same standard?
Yes.
Whoa, what a concept, right? Anyone disagree with that?
No, it's in fact, part of the sort of feedback that we've gotten from our members is that, particularly in these investigations, for example, the turnaround in document requests,
Yeah.
right? Provide everything right now.
Right, I'm the employer, I gotta give you everything right now, but once I give it to you, well, you can take as long as you want.
Correct.
Seems a little unfair, doesn't it?
It does.
I would add to that there is an ongoing buildup of cost for the employers as well.
Sure.
Sponsors, because we have to answer every single year, do you have any open cases or investigations with the Department of Labor when we fill out our insurance forms?
Wouldn't it make sense to hold the agency accountable too?
Sure.
Thank you.